Long time no see. Like you seen you a few hours ago. What up, bro? What's up? That grass work in. That's what you need. Soccer. Hey, football too. Football. You got the right one? They don't know because of, you know, so you don't tell them. Alright, you want to do a B-skip? B-skip. You gotta make sure the drill is right. Hey, alright, same thing. When you go down, you can make them the same thing. I just want to make sure your drills are right. Drills normally tell you what level they're on. Balance, coordination. Set in the row, set in the row. Set in the row, right in the row. Set in the row. Now do your scoops and all the rest of your what y'all warm up with. Should be fine after that. Today we was moving the front all the way to the. But that's I mean, you still find that way. We did it different way. It's gonna be the same setting. Why you move that up close to the line? I'd be short. All you did was you just moved it up while I was going to know you did it. close that is. Close to me. Close to you.
Did it different than we did the other day. Come back to your old style. Go in your set position, come like that. Good. Good. 3 more times.
We're gonna do one and come out the block. So you're gonna give me the first three steps of the block. I believe so. You're all right. I don't like person like that. You make you lean too far, you'll fall, you just gonna false start. You got to put back on the block. That's what you gotta do though. Yeah. I've had him do it. I can throw the blocks at the front. You gotta do them and then figure out like I said, you gotta almost push out both legs. I've had some that were doing it this way, the other way, this way, for a while. And all of a sudden I look down and switch up. When we look at it, I look at them and go, okay, that's fine. Most times hurlers do that. They try to do 8 strides to hurdle. This would be number 9, 10, sometimes they're at 9, or at 7.
I think you're fine either way. You can put them back on it. But when you put them up, when you take your toes off the track like that, you really gonna have to almost simultaneously push that both ways. You're gonna have to use both. You're gonna have to fire both. Put your feet back on the ground. You're gonna feel like you jumped out. That's gonna keep you from falling down and jumping. Push off both feet almost at the same time.
Like that?
Don't leave the other one behind. Don't, but you want it to feel like it. Make sure you go good 4 steps. Don't just come out with 1 step. Watching the video while you're stumbling is because you're going on the blocks. You're trying to be so low. Going this way, this way you are. You're supposed to be just straight right here. When you come out, don't be afraid to come up. Just keep your push off this way because you want to be at this angle. You don't have to be down here.
So like this or lower?
Like that. So in other words, when you come out, gradually start raising, go ahead and raise up. That don't mean stand up. You're like a folded chair watching your film record. You're bent over. Just like so I push up a little bit. There you go. There you go. It's okay, you know. Too low you can't go. Too high you can't fly. That's what I'm saying. And what it is when you come out, you're straight here, and then you bend over like this and come like a block. And then I'm like, facing that. When you're coming out, comes up. Gradually comes up. Then coming out, gradually comes up. Okay? You go back and watch carry wrenches and all them, you're going to see that they're not down there all so low that they can't go. They're going to come up, but they're going to still have the hips behind them. Push out and push up. Push up. There you go. Good. See, everybody thinks a drive phase is way down here. I can't go nowhere. I got to be able to see something. Like I can kind of see those folks walking right here. I'm looking right here, but I can still see everything. But if I look up here and I see them like this, and I'm back here, that's no good. I can see that dog way down there. I'm supposed to see that. Now if I'm right here, I can barely see those cones, and those cones get closer. Raising up, you can bring your. All right, let's do this. If I push out and I'm way out here and I'm back here, I'm gonna fall. But if I come out, I'm coming here, I'm never gonna fall because now I'm back underneath them because of all really point.
So how high do my arms go to, like right here?
They don't at all. That's why I got the 30 down there. They don't come up at all. Head and arms down on the track and it keeps you pushing down the track. You know, until my first zone, my drive phase, I want to see my hands in front of me like this. When I start coming up, then my arms start coming like this. When I come out the blocks, and I'm like this, and I'm doing like this, then I gotta see, I'm curling up. So I'm like this. Or you see something like this. Ain't no drive phase, just touching your teeth. Ain't no drive phase. No drive. So arms low. Keep your eyes low toward right in front of you. A couple steps in front of you where you want your eyes. We're gonna go all the way to the 30. We gotta take care of this first. Remember crunch. Bring that knee up like you're doing a crunch. Come on. There you go. Good. I like that. See, right now at your age, you don't have to be. You're not in the weight room and nothing. You don't have to be so low that you can't go. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be able to establish your positions. You don't race from the block. I tell y'all, the first one out the block is not the first one to the block. So I just sent the guys ahead from last night. They was racing from the block. I'm like, and they sent me videos of them getting caught at the end. I'm like, you racing? You trying to win the gold medal, be the first step out the block. You're the last one to the block. This is just the block just establish you in your drive phase, in your neck phase, and then your top end. That's all that does. No wonder they get out the block before you get out the block. You set up your transitions. Upload. Yeah, because you're going to eventually be a little lower. I'm going to show you something real quick. 10 up to the 20. This time, what I'm going to do is blow 2 whistles. 2 whistles going to be in the 10. I'll take that. Should eventually get a little bit. Not on top of the hill. There ain't nothing. On the right, on my shoulder. Once you get used to the set, lower you go. Basically like you can push your car, push Walmart, push your car. It's not pushing. So when you're running, it's not pushing. It's also, I call it the horse. Doctor grabs the horse like this. Alright, when you start standing up, the horse thinks he's pulling back on the reins to stop. Because your nervous system want to stop. But they think you figure stop because you're running up here. If you push it right here, I'm steady pushing down the track, not on top of the track. Like I'm a marching band. And that's what majority, I ain't gonna say them, but I got some guys that I was working with last night. They sent me film. I told them, I said, man, you in high school when you running like that? I can't even watch it. Y'all racing on the track or y'all racing in the backyard? Come out the block, pull it up like they like to do. Like this. If he see your eyes, when you get to that 20, man, you already messing yourself up. Right. You gotta be patient. Remember your car. Patient. She's up tall right now. Because she don't have the strength to stay low and push. That's gonna take drills. Like sometimes she know how to do drills like we do drive face lunges, we'll do some of them to help her get down. A lot of them, they try to teach them to go too low. They can't. Right now, because they're out of power. They got that, I call it the playground, and then they can just run from sand lot to the swing set and beat you. So, which ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, it's just really just patience. Having patience in the process. A lot of right now professionals. They look like they're too high. But they're just making sure, but that's why you see them, they're rhythm. Because they core. Even though I'm not low, I'm doing a crunch. I'm doing a, what we doing? A, B, C, I need. A, B, C, I need. That's all they're doing. A, making sure they use their core. A, B, C, I need. In that front. Ain't worried about being way down here. That's why I'm tired of it. Yeah, all this. Like this, like this. Yeah. The core that was so strong, and they know it's so sound. Yeah. All day. All right, we're gonna go to 30 again.
Track meet Saturday, you got 3 events.
Where's this at?
Cold water.
Oh, you back in the water?
Cold water, girl.
Get in the water.
You still ain't making no TikTok videos. Be serious. This ain't no game. You're not here for that. I want you rolling in this. Roll. Get out. Push. One thing we need to change that I see
is your horse is doing all the work. The jockey's not doing nothing because you're right here. You need to be. Rotate the cup. Move the wrist. Move the elbow. I gotta do this first. Just right here. You're not getting any stride neck. So basically, we're gonna do another one, but I want you separating yourself from the block. Meaning we call it getting rid of that zone. Meaning when I come out, it's right here. When I come out, I'm not gonna come out and be right here. I'm gonna come out with controlled, violent arms, which is powerful, and I'm reaching to take as less strides as I can. In other words, I'm gonna count your strides on this one. So in your first 10, shouldn't be no more than, well, shouldn't be no more than 8 strides. Every time you go 10 yards, it should be 1 negative stride. Step. You know what I'm saying when I stride? Step. What up? How you doing? How you feeling? How you hip? Sore. That was my fault. That wasn't my fault. So you want to have negative stride. Like if I was running, I say with my stride length, I want to run with my hips, not with my legs, with my hip stride. Because everybody thinks when you say get your knees up, it doesn't fire your hips because you want to stand up and do this. My hip, when my hip fires and I'm using it properly, that makes my knee lift automatically. When this turns, the knee will lift. But I can make my knee lift without just turning. It ain't going nowhere. Because my hips are not firing like too light. In other words, when your first, let's say you do 8 steps, that comes next. Your next zone could be 7, 7, 7, or 7, 6, 6. It always should be negative. That means I'm firing my hips, pushing out, and then firing the neck. That means I'm not dancing. If you're doing 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, that means you're running on top of the track and you're pushing up this way. Pushing up, but you're pushing this way like you're long jump. Alright? We're gonna do it. I'm gonna come up and try. Long legs, yeah. I know you're gonna warm on your arms. First time. What am I gonna do? I thought. And once you get towards the top end, it's gonna go from 6. You won't mentally go from 6 to 5. So now I'm getting stride length. Everybody wants to turn over and look like they're doing an agility ladder. You don't use your agility ladder when you run. We run outside the ladder. We gotta have stride. That was really good. So remember that. You gotta remember that. And 8 is what I thought you was gonna be at 8. You went jump from 6. You jump from 8 to 6 on both of these. So I know when you get down there, if you don't start just running underneath yourself, you don't want to go from 8 to 6 to 6 and drop down or go to 7, right? One more. Ain't gonna wear you out. back here. But you gotta remember, keep them away from you. You know, they say cheek to cheek. But if I do this, I'm gonna do this. But if I do this, I'm gonna open up my hips this way. Because I'm going down the track. I'm not going on top of the track. If it gets in here, it's too late, because now I'm gonna do this. And I'm traveling this. You come out the block. If I come out and I do this, it's gonna make my body go up and down. Now I'm just marching. It's gonna be forever to get down there. It's gonna be forever. You're gonna feel like you're doing this. By the time you got about 40 meters left and you ain't in shape, that line feel like somebody taking and rolling it back instead of bringing it forward. It's like, who's moving the line?